So this is just a quick demo, quick walkthrough of the Daylete web app. And what I kind of just want to accomplish here is just give a kind of an overview of some of the functionalities, and I'll probably get into a little bit of what the I think future state of some of the stuff will look like. But really the goal here is just to kind of talk about the current functionality, how to navigate and traverse the web app as it stands now, and what some of the features and functionalities are going to look like current state versus, like I said, maybe we'll get into this, what it might look like at a later date, or at least my plan for it. But with that said, you come in here, you get to the page, you're going to land on the home page. In here, it's going to talk a little bit about what Daylete is, so how it's built for an everyday type of athlete. It's going to talk about the community monthly challenges, as well as some of the just kind of features of Daylete and how it's built for the actual community. And then down here, if you'll notice, it does have this beta flag, so it's currently in beta testing. And if you are testing, or just I guess in general using this, there's also a give feedback option in the footer where you can click on that, and then that will just let you let us know what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, etc. So with that, let's just kind of dive into this a little bit. So for me, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle on to dark mode and then go to the login page. So when you log in, what it's going to do, it's going to redirect you to this account page and pull up all of your information. So right off the bat, what you see is on the left-hand side is your profile pic, stuff like that, and then also some stats, workouts, how long you've been a member. This stats section here will eventually expand and contain more information, but currently that's what we have. And then on the other side, we have recent strength workouts, recent metcons, and then exercise history. And then what these are, just kind of give you a little more context here. So recent strength is you go to work out and you do, a 5x5 bench press or something like that. That's what is going to show up under recent strength workouts, because the goal of that workout was strength. Recent metcon workouts are going to be if you go in and log, hey, I did an AMRAP or an EMOM or something like that, and it's going to show you like what your score was on that. So obviously that's a kind of a important delineation, because if you just put everything under one category, just because you did bench 5x5 as a strength workout one day, if you're comparing that against doing bench press within a metcon after you've run a mile, or you've done wall balls or whatever the case is, it's not really the same thing. So that exists to kind of highlight that delineation between strength and metcons. And then down here at the bottom, you have your exercise history, which currently is built more for the strength side of things, but this will change. I'm going to improve this some to where it'll really be, hey, anytime that you've done something, whether it was wall balls or GHDs or L sets, it's going to show up on your exercise history, and you can go click on it and get an overview of what your progression has looked like over time with that. So with that, let me just give you a kind of a quick walkthrough of actually creating a workout. And what that looks like is you come in here and you have a few options, or a few things to fill out. So one, the title. You also have your workout type, the date, and your notes. So here, say for my workout title, let's just call it testing stuff. And your date, workout type, I'll do strength first just to kind of show you what that is, and then notes. So notes, obviously, I mean, with a lot of metcon type styled workouts, I think the notes are really just going to be what the actual workout is. It's going to be, hey, 21, 15, 9 of this exercise and this exercise. It's basically just the text that you attach to the workout. But you can also just use this as, hey, I did strength today, didn't feel great, just wanted to, kind of keep progress going. So that was my goal here. Or if this was like a PR day, or you're prepping or anything like that, you could put it in your notes. And lastly, you have this make workout public. So this feature ties directly to the social, and we'll get into that later. But to save you the suspense, when you log a workout, there's a social feed component of Daylete, and if the workout that you log is marked as public, then it'll show up within that social feed. And we'll get into more of that later, but that's what that is. So with that, let's kind of just give a quick rundown of what this could look like. So I want to do for my workout today, let's say I'm doing lats pull downs. So I don't have a lat pull downs exercise in the database right now. So I'm just going to create one. And then from here, what you do is you're going to add a set. So for your sets, the way that kind of works is basically all of the information for logging that set. It's going to be the entire gamut of what attributes or what metrics you would use to kind of quantify any exercise that you do. So reps and weight, RPE, reps and weight at least, that's going to be for your, strength, your body doing some kind of a movement. Your maybe duration is 30 seconds on a bike. If you were to do that distance, maybe you do a 200-meter run. Another example could be maybe like say you're doing a bike or assault bike. Maybe your reps are the calorie count, and then you change the unit to cals or something. But just kind of give you an idea of why there's all these options here. So from there, I'm just going to do 2 sets. So you do 2 sets. It's going to just copy that over for you. Say I'm just going to do 10 sets. This one I'll just do 10 as well. And then I have no idea what I would do for a lat pull down, so I'll just say 100. And let's add another exercise. So notice how this is all kind of wrapped up in the exercise card, right? So let's add an exercise. It's going to go down to the bottom. And let's add something here. Do I have anything? Sure, let's do dumbbell push press. So kind of the same exact thing. So if you want to, you could add notes to the actual exercise. If you don't have anything, obviously you do not have to. Also add notes to individual sets if you want. So let's just say I did one set of 15 reps at 50 pounds. So we'll call that good, and then just give you one more example of the kind of strength exercise tracking component. And this is probably one of the better examples, ones I like the most, or one of the things I think is the coolest. Say you're doing deadlifts. And what it does is it's going to pull in for you on the fly, hey, the last time you did this exercise, the date of it, and then what your last set was. So last time I did this, obviously this is not real, but last time I did it was supposedly August 14th, and I did 205 for 3 reps. So with that, then I kind of have a good number in mind, because in my mind, if I'm doing 5x5 on Wednesday of deadlift, and that's my plan for the next 6 weeks, then next Wednesday I'm going to want to look at, okay, what did I top out at last time? So then maybe I go up 5 pounds on my starting weight, or I just know that I'm going to have to increase weight faster in order to get to that 5 pounds heavier mark. So that's what the reason that is there. We're just going to get rid of that for now, and then we'll just log it. So the logging it, what that's doing, that's just creating the workout. So then after the fact, you can go back and look at it. So right now, lat pull downs, dumbbell push press, it just kind of gives you the overview of what the workout was. So I did, 10 reps at 100, 10 reps at 100 for lat pull downs, dumbbell push press, 15 and 50. Nothing crazy. So now let's go into create workouts, and then this time we're going to do a Metcon style workout. So let's just use what I did today. So today was 4-time, and we'll call it 4-time test. I don't know. And then no notes. I'm not worried about that. Workout could be public. That's fine. I think my time was 12:45, something like that. And yeah, let's just do that. All right. So first off, you see when you're doing a 4-time workout, you get a add exercise and an add round button down here. So what that is That lets you add either an individual exercise or a round, which is essentially a grouping of exercises. The way I think of that is if you're doing 21, 15, 9, you might just add a round and then do 21 reps for that round and then copy that round and then change your reps as you go. So let me just show you an example of this. So in this round, what we did today was running and box jump overs. So the run was a 200-meter run, and then we're going to add another exercise, which was box jump overs, and it was 12. All right, so that's round 1, basically, right? Well, what I like about this and what's cool is you can come up here to this drop down, which is basically it's copy in times. So basically, how many rounds were there? So you're on round 1 now. How many rounds were there total? Well, it was 6 rounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do copy in times, and then that just creates my workout for me so that I have round 3, round 2, all these rounds filled out with the same information already. The reason I think this is cool is a few things. One, if you change the number of reps or the distance that you're running or the weight mid round, anything like that, or mid workout, you could capture that here. So you could know if in round 3 I decided, you know what, 200 meters is kind of far, let's change it to 100. I could do that. I think also what's cool about this is by having these individual exercises pegged to a workout, then later on you can do analytics on that and see, hey, when was the last time I did running? Okay, well, you did a workout on 8:14 that contained running. You did a workout on 8:11 that contained running. So that's kind of the round functionality. And then last thing I'll show you here is you also can add individual exercises to a Metcon workout. So at the bottom of round 6, it goes into part 1. I should probably rename that, but that's basically just part 1 being this is just an exercise, and it's the first exercise that got added to this workout outside of the rounds. So let's say you wanted to end it with a last performed August 11th. Let's say I did a 100 cal bike erg to end it. So what I think is cool about this is this lets you kind of add that, cash in, cash out, beginning and end change to a workout. So you can pretty easily come in, create your rounds, but then in addition to that, you can also say, okay, well, at the beginning of this workout, I did, ran a mile or did something that maybe isn't contained in each individual round, but it's still worth tracking, obviously. So you can do that here. And then from there, let's log this workout. And then from there, what that's going to do is just take us to the workouts page again and give you an overview of it. So this one, like I said, there's still some work to be done here, but it's capturing your distance and then weight. It's using the units that you provided when you were creating it. So like I said, have some work to be done here, but this is what your workout overview looks like. And then you can see at the bottom down here, what was your, that cash out piece where you did a bike erg for 100 reps for 100 cals. And that is kind of what a Metcon style workout would look like. And then obviously up here, you have your time. And then let me go back to my account and then I'll just show you, come in here. Let's see, bike. I don't have autocomplete on this yet. See if I can find bike erg. Bike erg. There we go. So this one, kind of not a great example. Actually, let me just show you a better example. So like I said, a lot of the stuff right now is really tailored towards the strength side of things, but the updates to the Metcon individual exercises is coming. But just give you an example of what this will look like. So come in here, look at bench press, and then here's your workout history for bench press. So over here on this side, you have a kind of personal bests right off the bat, so that you can see, okay, this was that. This, your basically your 1 rep max, and then here's your, your most reps that you've done in this exercise. And then if you come to the bottom and look at the actual history, any workout that you've done that contained this will show up here. So here I did. This was August 14th. I did 185 for 15 reps. I did 165 for 15 reps. Then if I want to look at what I did on June 18th, same thing here. 250 for 1 rep. June 2nd, same thing. And how this, I think, will eventually evolve over time is eventually, at least what I hope, is this will have, one, all of this like information tracked for you, but two, you'll be able to see progress for one in a chart. So you can see, like, you'll select a rep range for bench, say as an example. Say you care about your 5 rep max over the past 6 months. It's going to go and pull all that information for you and then visualize it in a chart so that you can see, okay, well, on 6 months ago I was at 185 for my 5 rep max, some peaks and valleys, ups and downs, and now I'm at 205 for my 5 rep max on bench press. And I think it'll continue to scale and evolve further than that, but that's just the next iteration that I currently see for this. So with that, let's move on to some of the other features. So I'll just work from right to left, and we'll go to social. So social, this is the kind of, actually probably easier to just talk about why I did this. So the reasoning behind social is, when I was doing CrossFit pretty, like, really consistently, it was great. You have a good group of people. You're consistently pushing yourself, and every day in class you're competing against a big group of people, which is awesome. Well, like most things, we had our core 6 a.m. group moved on. People moved or just left, all these different things. So from there I left too, and I started just doing workouts at home in my garage. And I'll save you the suspense. It's just not the same, right? So what I am kind of picturing for this social thing is a couple things. One, I want a way to where, if you have a good group of people that, you're kind of, the thing that brought you all together was fitness. I want there to be a way that you can kind of keep that. So maybe somebody goes to a different gym and they use a different gym like workout tracking software. Then if you're using Daylete, though, everything's going to be tracked in there, and you can still kind of keep up with people through that. So I think that's important. And then there's a couple other things. So one, it's public workouts. So just think of the, hey, I need to work out. I don't know what I want to do. I want to have a way or a place that you can come and just kind of look around, see what other people are doing, get some ideas, just, kind of explore a little bit. Just kind of have this kind of exploration site for, hey, what kind of a workout do I want to do today? And then in addition to that, I think, or not in addition to, but thinking of the next iteration of this, what I want to do is basically add another button here. So right now you have likes and comments. If I want to like or comment on something, I can just say, great job. I can post that comment. But say I have another button here for, like, not sharing, but copying. So what I think would be cool is coming in here, and then say you see a workout on the public site that you like, just copy it. It'll bring it over to your create workout site or page, and then you can just fill it in with whatever information you want to, and then you have kind of a ready-made template already for you that somebody else has already done and completed. So I think that will be cool. I also like this following workouts. So this is basically your friends, right? So if you have a group of people that you work out with all the time or used to, and you follow them, or call it follow them on Daylete, then you basically have a customized feed of everything that they've been doing. So you can still kind of keep up with each other and still keep that kind of fitness, that thing that kind of brought you together in the first place, kind of just keep that going, even though you've moved on. The other point that I will call out about this public workouts that I think it will be really cool is kind of down the line, but just to give you an idea. So say, like I talked about, having that button to where you can just click it and copy that workout. Let's go to my account, look at this 4-time test. All right, so in this page, one of the next things I want to do is basically create a workout timer. And the goal of that would be you hit a button, or basically you load the workout that you're going to do, and then you hit, time it basically or something. From there, it's going to create a timer, count you down from 10, start. Then what I'm thinking is each time you finish an exercise, then you just hit the screen and it's going to move on to the next one. And what that's going to do is it's going to create your splits for you. So you can see that, all right, I did my first run in a minute. And then I did my box jump overs in a minute too. All right. And then I go into round 2, still about a minute. Oh, round 4, I did my run in a minute 30, and I did my box jump overs in a minute 15. So what I like about that is basically creating that splits view of functional fitness, similar to how if you're training for a 10K, you might keep up with, okay, my first mile was 8, second mile 8:10, third mile 8:40, yada yada yada, until you hit the 6th mile and it was 13 minutes, right? So I think that will be kind of a cool feature. But to bring this back to the social side is when you're working out at home, at least for me, in my garage, you don't have the same motivation as working out within a class against people. But I think what would be cool is you come into social and you copy a workout. Well, if that workout has that advanced logging, then you can almost compete with somebody virtually and see that, okay, in my round 1, I copy this workout from somebody, and in my round 1, I did the run in 1 minute, box jump overs in a minute. Well, maybe they did the run in 55 seconds and the box jump overs in 45 seconds. Then I know, okay, well, I'm way behind pace behind this person, and you can kind of compare where you were at different time periods to just kind of give you that idea of what it would look like if you were actually competing against that person in person. So that's kind of the vision there. I think that pretty much sums up most of the social stuff. And then lastly, I'll end it with the monthly challenge. So monthly challenge, what is that? So the idea behind this is basically think of it as 5Ks for functional fitness. So when if you think of running, if I'm a runner and I go out, 3-4 times a week, go run, there's ample opportunities for me to kind of sign up for something to compete against other people. I'm running by myself probably most of the time, but there's runs probably every weekend around where you live that you can sign up for and then compete against a much larger group of people. Well, in functional fitness, I think there is that definitely in gyms, but I'm thinking of, you're working out in your garage, or maybe you're working out in the gym, but maybe all the people who go to your class time are all former D1 athletes, so you're finishing workouts 5 minutes after all of them. So are you really still kind of competing at that point? So really what the idea behind monthly challenge is, you come in here and once a month a new challenge is going to get posted. It's just going to be basically just a really, really hard, long workout. And what you can do is you'll come in here and you get to compete against a large group of people and submit your time. So let's delete this. Say I want to submit my time, and say I did this workout in 5 minutes. Okay. Realistically, it'd probably take me 50 minutes to do this, but just for demonstration's sake, say it took me 5 minutes. So that's the kind of the gist of it. Current state, that's what it is. You come in here, you have a leaderboard of people who've completed the workout, and you get to log your score, kind of compare it against other people. That's, kind of phase one, I would call it. What I envision for this is a few things. One, I want 3 distinct types of workouts to do. So reason being is I want think of like your CrossFit RX type workout. I want another one that is, call it less skilled than a CrossFit workout. And then I want bare bones. I don't have any equipment, but I still want to get a good workout in, body weight only type of workout over here. So with the CrossFit style workout, I want people who, obviously, if you've been going to CrossFit for a long time and have put a ton of effort into learning double unders and handstand push-ups and all that stuff, then obviously you're going to want to use that skill. And I think you should have a place to be able to use, like, while using that skill, still compete against a large group of people. So that's why I want that. I also want one for that other type of athlete who, and I'll be honest, I fall into this category, which is either you just don't have the skill set yet, or maybe you just don't have the interest in learning it, or putting in the time to get to where you need to get in order to be proficient with that skill set. So for me, for example, I have terrible shoulder mobility. So anything with overhead squats, or really anything overhead, say it's overhead squats, unless it's the barbell, I'm not doing overhead squats just because I can't, right? So I want to have another option for people who, call it that lower skilled option, that it's just going to be a hard workout where skill is not going to be the limiting factor. It's just going to be pure work capacity. And then lastly, like I said, I want that body weight, Spartan almost style workout. That's just going to be, hey, this is, I don't have any equipment, so here's, burpees, push-ups, all these different things. And then down here, to kind of round out this point, I'll just say that I think another thing I'll do is, for the leaderboard, I want to have a bunch of different views of this leaderboard. So obviously you're going to have different views based on the actual workout that you did. I want to give you the option to mark a workout as scaled, RX, or call it as written or modified, whatever you want. And then I also want I also want a kind of tying it back to that social aspect. I want you to be able to come in here and, one, look at how, like, all of your friends who did this same workout that you're kind of competing against. And then eventually I want to also just create groupings where you can essentially create a group, which say a group is just like a bucket of, 2 to 20 people, and then within that group is its own leaderboard. So you can create a group with a bunch of people and still come in here and compete against each other, and not have to, maybe you don't necessarily have as much of an interest in competing against somebody in California or South Carolina. You just care about the people that you're still competing with or competing against daily. Then you have that option to come in here and create almost like a private grouping where everyone can still do the workout, log their score, and you can see what it's going to look like. But enough of that. So with that, that's kind of the rundown of everything. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, so the app's currently in beta testing right now. I'm still adding new features day in, day out. So if you do use it and have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Also, like I mentioned, there's this give feedback option here where any thoughts, concerns, issues that you have while using the app, feel free to submit that. That'll come right to me. And with that, I think that's all I got. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you later.